Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob, and I'm going to be showing you day 3 of my small account challenge, just trading Robert Anderson's Gold Line trading bot. Looks like we are getting in a setup here on the NASDAQ, so let's see how, if we get into that trade and how that trade performs right after the intro. As always, nothing that I say in this channel is to be taken as financial advice. I am here strictly for entertainment purposes and to show you guys a few of my strategies and a strategy like the one that we're looking at right now, which was purchased. And for those of you that have been following my channel, you know that I am going to be doing a 30-day small account challenge, just trading this auto trader bot trade assistant tool that Robert Anderson created. Well, he came up with this strategy and he developed it and coded it into a system like the one you're looking at right now. So since I'm on day 3, day 1, I had a profit. I had a $119 profit. Yesterday, I had a small loss. So overall, we are still in the positive for the challenge. You're looking at the NASDAQ here. Let me just open this up so we can see this bigger. The NASDAQ had a pullback to the 5-minute red line, which the 5-minute red line is right here. So the system is going to try to activate a short. Now, remember that this is the micro. I am trading 2 micros off of my
Order
cash
submitted.
account. We just got into a trade here. It looks like we are looking at 65. Looking at a pretty big amount of take profit on this one. So my entry here is 14,665, and the take profit, we're looking at about 38 points, with, I would say, about 7 points of risk. So pretty good risk to reward if it hits. We will see. Yesterday, we only took one NASDAQ trade. So right there, the system just went to break even. So at this point, you're kind of in a break even trade. So you can't really lose. Obviously, there's some commissions there that can get you, but we're in a risk-free trade right here. So this is a good example of to see how this trade here performs. Now, this is quite a large target. I mean, yeah, you could say that the here would be a good target. This to me seems like there's going to be some pretty big resistance right here. So again, you might get into these scenarios where you might come pretty close to your take profit. Now, granted, you can close these positions manually. There's a button up here for close position or flatten your position. But again, you have the system trading for you as an auto trader. Why at that point, that kind of means that you're not letting the strategy kind of do its thing. So right now, the system is in just hit 21 points of profit, which is it's a nice trade. But again, I feel like you've got a few resistance points that you're going to be meeting here. So you've got a resistance at 640, and I believe you got another one right above your target at 630. So this one came again 5 points from hitting my target, but it's in a spot where I feel like you would pretty much expect a pullback. And is this a big enough room to get a minor pullback and then continuation with the trade down? I don't know. Um, I know that from the groups that we're in, I know some traders are closing out their positions earlier, so just kind of taking profit. And I get it. I trust me. I completely understand why you would want to do that. But for me, since I am going out and going to my job, I'm a real estate broker. The reason why I bought this is for the main reason is I would like this to be trading for me while I am not in front of the charts. Um, and some people are like, dude, you're crazy that, you're putting risk on and you're not in front of the, I get it, because crazy things can happen. I mean, there's glitches in systems. But, so far from what I've been testing, the system does perform. And it does, I haven't had any type of glitches where, I would have been like, oh man, that would have been a disaster. So we hit 30 points of profit there. On the NASDAQ, that's a good trade, 30 points. I mean, I would have probably been out already. But again, let's let the system kind of do its thing and see what happens. I could take a look at the strategy settings to see what the next trailing stop might be, because for different trades he has it set to to either auto trail, what the strength of the auto trail. So let's see here if we get filled right to the tick. I mean, right.
Order canceled.
All right, so we hit our first trade, and there you go. I mean, I let it go. There was a little bit of pullback here, but trade was successful, and we got into some profit here on our first trade on the NASDAQ. So that was pretty cool. Let me minimize this chart so we can see. Sorry, I don't know why that keeps doing that. Make sure that we're looking at the Russell the right way. We are. Okay. So let's see here. Trade number one got us looks like $75 of profit. Let me make sure that is right. No. Got us $149 of profit. Huh. So I'm looking at my NinjaTrader P&L for this cash account, and it does show $149 of profit. And it shows here, I don't know, let me see if I can, let me blow this up here. Well, the box doesn't get any bigger. But if you guys can see this, it says trade number one, $75. Daily P&L, 149 with 75 cents, which matches exactly what I'm looking at down here on my P&L for this cash account. So maybe because there's two contracts, it's kind of calculating each one. So I'm gonna see I'm gonna see what that is, but I mean, you do the math, and yes, it does come out to $149.75 of profit on that trade based on the entry, which is at 14,665, and a target of 14,627.75. So as I mentioned, that is pretty close to 38 points. It's probably exactly 38 points. Let me do this on the calculator one more time. 14,665. And the target was at 14,627.75. So 37.5, and then we had one entry that had a little bit of slippage there. So yeah, 38 points is what the system was looking for, and it's what the system got us. So guys, I mean, I think this is a perfect example here of, let me bring this over here so we can see it. It's a perfect example of the trade, of the system working like as I explained it last night on my trade recap, where it does get some smaller losses, maybe a little bit even more frequent than I would like to see, but you do have the opportunity to capture these big moves. Um, you know, especially if normally you wouldn't be in a 38 point move on the Nasdaq. You might. I mean, I'm not saying the Nasdaq doesn't rip. It rips like crazy. I mean, you can get 80 point, 100 point moves, but generally speaking, that's not what I'm usually looking in my day to day trading, especially not on my Nasdaq trade that I like to take in the morning. It's usually right around 25 points, 20 to 25 points, which seems to be a pretty easy target to get to. But this is a great example of, you've got your pullback, and again, pullback to the 5 minute red line, which, as I've mentioned, I love. I love this trade. And you get the pullback on the down. So, yeah, it's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. It was a nice trade. It was actually a very, very nice trade. Now, you guys saw how the auto break even set in. I know a lot of people on in our private group are stating that we are getting stopped out a lot. Again, if you're getting stopped out for break even, um, it's trying to keep the risk in order. It's trying to put a level of manageable risk. Again, this does this. I gotta figure this part out. Why this? Usually, when you hit that little F button up here, it just auto aligns it and it keeps tracking it. But keep losing the chart where it's not auto scaling together. If anybody knows, just, I mean, guys, even in the comments, you guys are helping me out. On certain small little things that I encounter every day. So looks like we had another. This looks like another setup. Not a setup, but this is where an activation of a time period that for oil, so 10 a.m. Now it's going to start looking for probably a different trade, which if we go into the strategy, let's see at 10 a.m. Let's see what hits. So at 10 a.m., the 5 minute gold line trade activates. So now it's looking for that. Okay, and that goes all the way up until 2:30, almost to the end of the session. So you guys can see that different, like a 1 minute gold line starts at a different time. The red 5 minute gold line starts at a different time, and then eventually you got all three pretty much running at the same time. Which that's obviously you're going to get some more action at that period. So I know I could change these colors because Bob mentioned that in one of his videos. I haven't, just because I'm looking at it, but this is a damn ass ugly color. I feel like I'm looking at like some salmon or something over here. Obviously I know it's just a color, it's personal preference, but maybe I might change this color because man, that is puke ugly. And then again, oil didn't have anything. A lot of news today, and a lot of red news events just in general in the market. So in my video yesterday, I let you guys know that I plan on trading this system. I'm not going to be discretionary as to what days I pick and choose to trade this. I'm going to trade it every single day. Unless for some reason my job or something happens where I physically can't trade this, but it's a matter of setting it in the morning, turning the system on, the bot on, and just kind of letting it go. So I mean, it's that part of it's pretty easy. And the cool thing is that in the channel, people are pretty excited about that NASDAQ trade. So, I mean, you can obviously do the math. If, we're trading 2 micros, all right, and if we were trading a mini contract, let's just see what we would be at. 38 times 20. This trade here would have been $760 of profit, which a lot of the people in the channel, that's what they trade. A lot of them are trading. I'm sorry, not in the channel, in their private group, are trading the mini contracts. And, some of them are even trading 2 mini contracts. So that would have been a $1,520
Order
win,
submitted.
which would obviously help offset, um, a lot of the smaller losses. But again, everything is relevant. I am trading 2 micro contracts, so I didn't make as much as I would have with the mini. But you're also not risking as much as well. So on your small losses, they're not huge losses. And based on the size of my account, which we all know that we started with $2,000, I feel like this is the right amount of risk. Some people might even say I'm taking on a little bit too much risk for this small of an account, but I think you'd have to have a pretty bad disaster for, I guess, all of your instruments hitting your max loss of 100, which the max loss per day is $100 on all of these strategies that I'm doing with the micros. So I would have to have a $300 loss day on all, 100 on each instrument. Haven't seen that happen. Not saying it couldn't happen, but that would obviously affect the account pretty strongly, but I mean, still not ridiculously. So here, a system is looking for another 5-minute red line trade setup. Doesn't look like it's going to happen because we're getting a pretty big push upwards. So this order is probably going to cancel out. And again, the Russell and the oil are still being traded behind this chart. I'm just blowing this up because we are in at least a setup right now. And I believe when I blow this chart up like this, it makes it easier on TV or on mobile or whatever screen you're looking at. It just makes it easier for you guys to see these
Order
lines
canceled.
and what we're looking at. So we got to cancel. That order got canceled, and I thought that this was going to cancel. So I like thinking something and for it actually coming true on the chart. And again, this thing is just, I guess I got to keep moving it, which when we start to stream this, that's going to be a pain in the butt. So hopefully figure it out, because the chart does move. Let me just hit this F button one more time and let me see if it auto scales and chart moves along so we can see it. Everybody keep an eye on this for me. So we had one trade in the NASDAQ positive, which is great because that really is going to help the account. $149 win. Man, shut the whole system down and let's call it a day. No. We're gonna let this thing run, even if it eats away at all of my profits here on this cash account. It's okay. I think there's a lot of people that are reviewing this strategy, or the strategy and the bot. There's a lot of people that have purchased the bot and still have questions. So hopefully these videos help you guys, and to see what the system can do, maybe see what some of the limitations are, see if it fits your trading style. Today was a red news day. Actually, the next couple of days are going to be, so I'm going to be very curious as to how this system is going to perform during that type of environment. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it trade every single day. We should probably get 21 days of trading in this month, and hopefully we'll see where the account sits. You know, at the end of each trade recap day, I show you guys straight from my NinjaTrader website where the account stands. You guys can see what trades the system is taking. So this is a bunch of an honest review of the system that I think I can think of. You know, I think it would be kind of cool, and I'm just throwing this out there. I'm going to put myself in your shoes, or at least the shoes that I think that a lot of people are in, where let's just say you've been unsuccessful in trading and you're constantly looking for that next strategy to be the winner, to to the next strategy that wins you some money. And you start to see a lot of different strategies. There's a lot of different concepts that are out there, a lot of different trading bots that are out there, a lot of algos that you can purchase. And you look at the results, because always the websites that you go on to where they're selling this, I mean, man, they make this thing out to be the next greatest thing in the world. And we all know that that usually isn't the case. And then you start to go look at YouTube to compare the results that people on YouTube are getting to what their video or to what the guru who created that strategy is kind of putting out there. Because again, do they benefit from putting out losing videos? Probably not. I don't know if that's going to help sales. To be honest with you, I mean, if you were to put some losing trades out there and along with your winners, that to me at least shows that, you know, you're being honest that the system's not going to be all winners. We know that, but a lot of these websites and a lot of these gurus make that seem like that's the case, and I don't like that.
Order submitted.
All right, so we've got an oil. Let's see, let's blow up oil. Again, this ugly ass color. Gotta change this somehow. I'm gonna definitely change this. I know I saw the colors in there. Then again, I started with this stupid color, so maybe I end the challenge with this stupid color. I am a little bit superstitious, I guess you can say. So we got a pullback to the 5-minute gold line. Gold line is right here, the dashed line right here. We got to pull back into there. So the system is going to be looking for a short activation. And it looks like we might not get one, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. So this short order, the sell order right here, once we get an activation candle, you'll see it jump right up, and then it'll kind of start. There you go. It'll start to kind of stalk that trade. So this still works. This actually pierced into the 5-minute red line now, which again for me I really like. And then let's see if we can get a continuation of this downtrend. Obviously, we've had a pretty good push upwards. Maybe try to find some liquidity up here or a push downwards. Could be. And then again, if we do get another setup on the NASDAQ or the Russell, I mean, I can hear it. You know, I will minimize this screen, and then so we can see kind of both of them going at the same time. But right now, the only trade setup is on the oil. That's why I've got it blown up so you guys can hopefully see it easier on your screen.
Order canceled.
So order canceled. Line we got here. This looks like it didn't pierce over this one. Touch 3. So it looks like touch 2. And then where's touch 1? I'm assuming you've got a touch 1 here. So the system, after 2 touches, so on the third touches, it does not, of the same goal line, does not like to take the trade, does not want it. It's pre-built. I mean, that is part of Robert Anderson's strategy, unless you get a reset. So price action has to go from, let's just say in this case, we are bearish and we are looking for shorts. If we get a reset where you get a closed candle above the 5-minute red line, and you'll start to see the chart will start changing colors. And then if you get a reset, then, if you get another pullback after that, then it'll start to look for trades. So that's just one, that's for those of you, again, that have followed his system, should be pretty familiar with that. So we didn't get a trade, but let me just go back really quick to what I was explaining to you guys that I think would be pretty cool. And I'm going to put this out there on this channel. I would be happy, if somebody comes out and develops a strategy and says, hey, we need some honest reviews of the strategy. Let's put some real money up on the strategy. Third party, not affiliated any which way with the company or the guru that is selling the strategy, and for them to say, you know what, Rob, go test this. We like your test on the gold line bot, trading bot. I think that people are obviously reacting to these videos in a positive way. I feel like people believe and know that this is an honest and true review. There's skin in the game. There's cash put on the line. Granted, $2,000 for me is definitely not the end of the world. I know for some people that's a lot of money to put at risk for a strategy that or a trading system that is just got released. But I'd be willing to do it. If you have any ideas, comment below as to what strategies you'd like me to test. I'll do some 30-day tests. We'll put some real money into it. If I believe that the strategy is something that I think could work, yeah, I'll look at it. I think that's I'm putting it out there. If somebody wants me to review it, I think the trading community would benefit from something like that greatly. And I think it would be a positive thing to happen. Now, my idea for today is to let this video, because I'm gonna have to cut out probably in the next half an hour or so. But I'm gonna let this keep going, and I'm gonna record the session. And when I get back home from work, I'm probably gonna have to edit this video somehow. I'm not gonna edit anything up to this point because this is the whole time I've been commenting and telling you guys what my feelings and thoughts are. That's not profound. It's not. But I don't know. I personally, if I was watching a video, I don't know if I'd want to watch 4 hours of just this coverage. Like, I mean, uploading a 4-hour video to YouTube. For those of you that are YouTube gurus and want to help me grow the channel, what's your thoughts on the length of these videos? Some people say keep it under 20 minutes. Some people say around an hour. I just talk until I have nothing else to say, or I feel like my point has come across, and whatever time that is, that's what I've been uploading. But if you guys feel like in this scenario where I just want to leave this thing run, would you guys like to see like a 4 hour video uploaded? Which to me, I wouldn't personally watch that. Again, I would probably watch until I stop talking. Um, or what I think would be better is to maybe just now edit everything after I go off a screen, edit when the trade setups happen to see if they get into a trade and then what the results were. I think that would be a little bit more exciting. Um, and this might be embarrassing, but embarrassing to me. But I also got to figure out how to edit some of these videos. A lot of this stuff is newer to me, guys. So please be patient with me. I've got my 15-year-old son that I adore that is also looking at helping me with some of the edits. I have started to kind of figure it out, obviously through YouTube videos. So, I feel like I can at least trim down a very large video to just some relevant parts. And I don't think the videos are ever going to get super flashy. I see some crazy stuff that some of the YouTubers put out there. And I don't think that my channel is ever going to get to that point. Nor do I really want to get to that point. I'm just happy producing content that people want to watch and hopefully helpful content that somebody else can learn something from or avoid. So after that oil setup, nothing much happening. We could get a pullback here on the Russell. Pull back to the yellow, to the 5-minute gold line or the 5-minute red line. Man, that's been tough too. There's just say these. You've got the 1-minute goal line, the 5-minute goal line, and the 5-minute red line. It's kind of a tongue twister, but I think I've been doing an okay job with it. So we might have a setup here if we get a pretty decent pullback. It could happen. Could definitely happen. For those of you that also follow my morning oil trade, I'm sure you guys saw the video I posted earlier today of my trade that I took in the morning. So normally I don't take this trade just because today is a oil red day as far as news, and I like to avoid those days. But in my back testing, I still find that there is a very slight win rate on there in the positive. So, but again, not for me. I would just rather skip it and move on to the next day. But also, like, you just put out the strategy video, and you say something to people, and I don't know. I feel like it's kind of nice when you show people the actual strategy in real time. Well, at least in my real time, I'm showing it to you guys on my in that scenario on TradingView, but connected to my TradeStation account, so you guys can see that I take this trade. So I took it this morning, and it won. I believe it got me 24 ticks. So that was a nice winner to start. I didn't take my NQ this morning trade just because I didn't like the volatility again of the news cycle that we're in. And with some big reports coming out this morning, of course, it would have hit. I would have gotten my $250 profit there, but that's okay. I mean, I've been trying to avoid
Order submitted.
the red news days as much as possible, just because statistically they have not done so well for me. So let's see what we got brewing over here. Looks like we might have another setup on the NASDAQ. We got a move upwards. We got a small pull down to the 1 minute goal line. And now we have pierced into the 5 minute gold line right here. And then now we pierced into the 5 minute red line. So we would be looking for a long scenario here. Again, the setups don't seem to be working out. And you could see this chop. I mean, this chop has been happening since, man, look at this morning. You know, I mean, that's a hard one to trade right here. You know, I mean, you got a nice move here, which we profited from. We profited close to 149 bucks. So the system did great there. But there was not that many opportunities, you know, and not that there's not that many opportunities, but this is a tough chart to trade from. And system held up pretty well so far, at least on the NASDAQ. And we'll see here what happens with this trade, if we get activated or not. My feeling is that we are not.
Order canceled.
There we go. So the order got canceled. So no trade there. Which is fine. Totally fine. So yeah, I'm open to do some reviews of other systems, do some small account challenges on other systems once I'm done with Robert Anderson's. And again, I'm paying for the system, my plan is to use it. If it's profitable and if I like what I'm seeing as far as the updates that Bob throws out there and refines the strategy now that he's got so many people on the system that are trading it. You know, I believe it gets better from here just because now you're really forced into, you know, trying to optimize this strategy because this is not a monthly subscription. So if the strategy doesn't work and it stays unprofitable for several months, the natural thing that I would think is that people drop the strategy or drop the subscriptions to the bot. So it's to his benefit and the benefit to everyone for the system to improve. And I believe it only improves through optimization and through consistent back testing. Okay, I got nervous there for a second. I thought that we lost the charting on there, but no, there it goes. You know, through constant improvement, and I think the improvement comes from optimization of the strategy. So if I see that is constantly happening, which I have, 100% I have, I will obviously continue to trade it. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, if something is profitable at the end of the month, give it another month. Give it another month. And if it's unprofitable the second month, give it another month. And, you know, if you start to see a pattern, go with the pattern. Go with the winner, go with the loser. Drop the loser, go with the winner. That's the way I'm looking at it. In yesterday's video, I spoke about an update to the templates that was sent out. I spent a good portion of my night yesterday inserting those new templates for each one of the indices that I trade. And I also wanted to compare it to what I was previously trading. So the settings. And when I'm talking about settings, guys, this is the settings that we're looking at. So it kind of gives you the times that they'll start taking it at, obviously how many contracts, what the target ticks, what the stop loss is looking at, if it's got a break-even stop that's going to be set, you know, what the ticks for the break-even, the offset, the trailing stop, You know, how the trailing stop method is, which is a swing trail, the strength of it. So all of these things can be updated and optimized. That's Bob's, in my opinion, that's Bob's responsibility to continuously work on optimizing the strategy. Could I do it? Could people that have purchased it do it? Yes, we could. But at the same time, that's what we're paying for. We're paying for a system that is going to be optimized. And I believe that he would be the best person to do that because he is the creator of the system. And I'm assuming just by looking at
Order
charts,
submitted.
he can figure, you know, he can really quickly figure out why it's taking trade, why it's not. How can we make this thing better? How can, you know, we improve this? So yesterday when I uploaded all of the settings, and it looks like we got a setup here again on the NASDAQ, but let me just finish here where I got saying. Um, I entered in all of the new strategies and I compared them, which is what took me so long. I compared them to what I was trading the previous day or yesterday even. And the differences were extremely minute. In some, I think in oil, there was barely any differences, minus a few start time differences. In I think in the Nasdaq and the Russell, there was a few changes made to the take profits and the stop losses. So really small changes, can they make a difference? Time will tell. You know, I think that time will only tell as to, you know, we're we're going as what we're being told kind of to do. And what I wanted to do is I don't like to blindly install any update or anything into the system, you know, that I haven't at least looked into and seeing, okay, what are the changes here? What are the things that, you know, you've optimized? I didn't see much, but I did see something. So I get granted, I am right now on the most updated template settings that the strategy has. Granted, we had a winner this morning on the NASDAQ, a really nice one. Are we going to attribute that to the updated settings? I don't know, people. Maybe. So it looks like we're going to get a trade here activated if we get any type of small pullback. And this would be a 5-minute red line trade setup. Of course, it's going to go up, rip. So it might, let's see here. If we get a small...
Order submitted.
Wow, that was a lot of slippage on that trade. That was kind of strange. This one might knock us out pretty quickly. Just based on that thrust, it didn't even look like it hit
Order
my
canceled.
target. So we got stopped there. Let me open this up. One thing that a few people in the channel were saying is that the strategy is using market orders to get into the market. I always use limit orders. Not to say that look at that. Oh, that one. Look at that one. That stinks right there. So we took a $30 loss on that trade. We got wicked out, and then we got a huge pump to the downside. So let's see, 623. We got in at 642, and it was almost a 20-point pump down right here. So again, I didn't like the entry of. I didn't like the way that took that market order. Um, didn't even. I was looking right at it, and it didn't even look like it hit my target, but it got me into the trade, and there was some pretty good slippage there, which I'm not. Honestly, I'm not used to that, just because all of my trades usually revolve around limit orders. Um, Damn, this one would have hit. This one would have been really close of hitting 5-minute red line. Well, if we go off the same strategy as before, that would have been looking for 38 ticks, which that wouldn't have gotten us to the 38 points on this move downwards. But let's see where we needed to be at to get to the 30. Let's see if this trade would have worked if we wouldn't have gotten stopped out. And again, this is why we're doing these videos, to show. All right, entry was at 14,635. Let's see. The entry was right here. I didn't feel like it was there. Felt like it was sooner, but anyways. Oh yeah, nowhere near where we would probably need to be at. So if I take 635 and I go to 38-point profit, we would need to be somewhere at somewhere down here to have taken that full profit. Am I doing this right? I think I did this math right. 14,635, which was the entry. That was our entry, correct? Yes, my entry 14,635. And if we subtract 38 points from that, it brings us down to 14,597, which is where this red line is right here. This would have been our target if we wouldn't have gotten wicked out. So we'll see if we can get down there. Obviously, we're not in this trade anymore. We lost $30 on that trade pretty quickly. But we will see. Let me minimize this now that we're out of that trade. These all seem to be right. Okay. So remember, this would have been, this red line down here would have been, I believe, would have been our target. Should have been our target because it would have been the same target as our previous 5-minute red line. Yes. So let's see. We would have been, and I guess that move downwards, I was really excited about this move downwards, but I mean, it wouldn't have been it was about 13 points of profit right away. I mean, boom. And then ultimately got down to about, quick math, well, not such quick math. We got 17 points is the max profit that this was at. And again, 17 points on the Nasdaq is I think 20 to 25 points in my opinion is it's a pretty nice target for the Nasdaq. I feel like that's a good sweet spot. But again, this thing's looking for 38 points. Just taking a look at our some of the comments on the private group that we're in for people that have purchased the system, and everybody's, so again, a lot of people seem to be closing out positions manually for profits and not letting the full take profits hit. And I don't know, I mean, I'm not going to say what's right or wrong, but again, if you're not letting the system do what it's tested to do, but you're willing to take all of the losses without adjusting those or closing out early on those, I mean, I guess what's the point? Yeah, I know profit is profit, and some people are like, take a profit when you can get it. I get that. I understand that. But to me, I would rather let the system just go and grab a target or lose the target, one way or the other. Now, granted, these risk to reward um, on his strategy are pretty and are awesome. I mean, you're looking at some cases 1 to 3, 1 to 5, 1 to 2. They're great risk to rewards. Again, you do get stopped out maybe a little bit more than, definitely more than I'm accustomed to. I generally, if you guys look at my oil trade and my NQ trade, um, I generally give my trades a little bit more breathing room than this strategy does, but it is what it is. All right, so I've given this about 50 minutes of my thoughts for the day. I am going to keep this recording and either edit what trades or what setups it looks for, maybe just upload the entire video. I'm not too sure yet, but either way, you will see this video most likely uploaded tonight. And hopefully you guys are getting some value from these videos. For those of you that are reviewing his strategy on Robert Anderson's on his YouTube channel, which I highly recommend you guys to do. Hopefully you guys are getting some value out of taking a look at these charts and listening to me talk about what I'm seeing. I believe that the charts are right now set the right way where they will scroll. Before I leave to work, I'll just make sure that those are running properly. But please don't forget to like this video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order canceled. 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 Order submitted. Order submitted.
Okay, looks like we're in a NASDAQ trade here. There's about 17 points in profit. It's 237. I just don't like this. I don't like this trade where it's at as far as timing. Uh, I'm just gonna close this. It's way too late in the day to have a trade open, in my opinion. This could rip whichever way, but I I'm a big believer of always letting the strategy dictate what you're gonna do. But it's 237. I would never have a position open this late. Nope.
Order canceled.
All right, so I closed out that position prior to hitting my take profit. Okay. And that was a profit of $54 on that trade. So let's take a look. It's had 3 winners it showed on the NASDAQ, which is good. That would have, based on the parameters, that would have stopped trading at that point anyways once we get to the finality of this trade. Yes, I know let's not even look at it because it's probably gonna continue to rip to where we were gonna take our profit. Perfectly fine. I don't like taking trades that late in the day. So that might be something in the settings that I will need to look at. But so you guys saw the trades playing out. First trade on the NASDAQ was really nice. First trade went for $150. Second trade was a loss. So we had a loss here. And a losing trade there. And then I believe we had another. Where'd she go? This is a break-even trade. So this looks like it was in profit and then came back, stopped us out at a break-even. And then this last trade here, that was a winner for, looks like $54. I'm going to check that in a second just to make sure that these numbers are right. I like actually going individually and just seeing how many ticks and how many points I got, because these boxes here don't always seem to be the most accurate. This is a daily P&L of $173 on the NQ strategy, which off of 2 micro contracts is pretty badass. That's great. The oil. Let's take a look at oil and see, did oil take anything? Here we go. 2 trades. We had 1 trade here. Let's see if I can blow this up. Ugly ass color. We had a trade here. First trade for negative $12. Negative 12 right here. Looks like a 1-minute gold line trade. And another loss here for $14. So not, again, still 2 losses, but not terrible. Not terrible. And the Russell. Let's see what happened on the Russell here. Russell, first trade was right here. It looks like it had 2 trades today, both losers. So we had 1 trade right here off of a 5-minute goal line. Took me out for $10 and hit my stop. And then we had another one on a 1-minute gold line and This one had a big reversal here. So that one took me out pretty quickly as well. So let's take a look at the P&L for the day. All right, not bad. Total P&L for the day was $121. So it's funny because I made a joke after the first trade was the Nasdaq trade, and that one ripped. It got, I think that went in profit for $149, and I just said, you know what, let's just stop the system right there and take that win, because that would be a huge win for a small account like that. But again, I want to show you guys how what the strategy is doing within each of the instruments. And to be honest with you, and this is something that I'm hearing a lot from, the NQ seems to be, probably working the best. We have definitely been getting the most profit out of the NQ with this system. So let's see how it progresses. But overall, for the day, my cash account is up $142.75, which, I'm sorry, $121.78, which is really nice. I mean, that's balance on that account sits at 2205.48, which is a 10% increase on the account in 3 days of trading. So that's positive. I mean, guys, I'm trading 2 micro contracts here. So, so far so good. That last trade, I guess, I don't know. Looks like I took it out in the nick of time, but that one already had gone to break even, at least the auto break even. So, that was a risk-free trade. But I don't like trading this late. I mean, typically, from what I've observed, you start to get a lot of like algo trading, and institutional algos that are, they love to trade in that 2 to 3 o'clock window Central Time. So pretty much right around the last hour of the market being open. So, and I typically do not like trading in that time. And I know the Nasdaq likes. I'm sorry, the cutoff for the Nasdaq, I think, is the latest one. It's at 2:30, based on the system parameters. And if I go off of this, it looks like it happened around. No, this is where it would have gotten in right here. Yeah, it was like right at, because I think I got the notification on my phone that it had gone into a trade at right around 2:29. So it was like literally to the minute where it wouldn't have taken that trade, which ended up being a winner, which is awesome. Everything helps, but again, I don't like being in that trade at that time. So in my video tomorrow, I will show you the P&L statement straight from NinjaTrader. I'm going to do that in tomorrow's video, but just know that today I am up $121.78. The account sits at 2205.48, which is fantastic. And overall, today was a winner. So we had some small losses, and we had one pretty big one, and then we had a decent sized one here at the end, which if I would have left, would have gone for nothing. So, it was a good decision to close it. And guys, I typically am now the type of trader where I like just to see trades. I mean, you saw my early trade on the Nasdaq. I'm like 38 points is a big target. And I just let it go. And it actually hit the 38 points. So I would have let this one go too, but I don't like trading this late in the day. I think that it's a great way just to get just completely zapped out. And that's exactly what would have happened if I would have stayed in. So hopefully you guys are finding some value in my videos. Please do not forget to like, comment. I read all of those comments in the comment section. I try to respond to as many as I can. And please subscribe to the channel. It definitely shows me that you like the content that I'm putting out there. All right, everyone, take care.